Woopy. Today we're taking a look at the DX Denkou Choujin Gridman from the 1995 tokusatsu show Gridman. Quick lesson on who Gridman is. He is a hyper agent from the computer world sent to find Khan Digifer, who is the evil baddie. He creates kaiju, who sets it out in the computer world, trying to enter the real world. So him and 3 Japanese kids are out here trying to stop this fool, and we about to get it. Taking a look at the DX Gridman here, I really like his design in general, and this figure does it pretty well. That being said, the figure has a really retrospect, old school look to it, and I don't really mind that at all. He's bulky, broad-shouldered, he's even got a nice booty in the back. I think the white really separates most of his color palette, as well as with the Krylon silver. Without his secondary colors, he look really plain. Also, you can definitely know he's from tokusatsu, just the fact that he looks like an Ultraman, but I think he's unique enough to where he stands out on his own. Also, the shoulders are pretty scuffed up, just because you have the interchangeable pieces that go in and out, and it does scrape the paint over a course of, what, 12 plus years? Let's get a closer look at Gridman, shall we?
Here is a size comparison with a can of Sprite Zero. Taking a closer look at the figure, he has translucent orange pieces for the eyes, as well as a little piece above his forehead. He has a blue jewel, not red, what am I talking about? Orange jewel in the chest, and it is completely hollow because it doesn't have the electronics. The electronics would be back here when you would activate the different armor pieces. And here is my terrible paint job from 5 years ago. It's so ugly, but I didn't have stickers, so I just improvised. But since this is pretty old, the articulation's not that great. You get a little bit side to side motion with the head, nothing else. That's it. Arms forwards and back, move in and out. Get a single jointed elbow with a rotation. Simple wrist swivel. Typically the arms are supposed to be cocked sideways like this, but that's just so strange. I don't like that at all. No waist. It's understandable because the Japanese version had electronics, and obviously the American one doesn't. His legs are probably the most limiting thing, honestly. Can't spread at all. Ooh, Oni-chan, what are you doing? He can kick forwards, back, pretty good. Single jointed knee, swivel above the knee, and his feet can just go up and down. That's about it. Very basic, very limited, sadly, in the articulation department. But for the time, 1995-ish, I think, it's not too bad. Being a hyper agent, he must have some accessories. The very first accessory we got is the barrier shield, which is actually one of the most colorful things of Gridman. Sadly unpainted because I was lazy growing up as a kid, and I thought this was too much work. But it's not too bad in just its normal gray plastic. Also, the front part of the shield could be removed to equip a different attachment, which was the Gridman X, I believe. The shield parts would fold forward and was in an interchangeable piece. The next accessory is the plasma sword. Pretty basic looking sword, honestly. It's nothing too schmancy fancy, and the gray plastic really doesn't help it at all. With sword and shield in hand, it does not look bad at all, especially as he's going up against a bigger dude. But when the enemy has him down on one knee, he must call Gridman Sword.
Here we have the Gridman sword. It's the combination of the plasma sword and the barrier shield put together, which I think is Gridman's main weapon of choice. It looks pretty good for what it is, and it definitely gets the job done.
Sadly, I actually don't have one of his main accessories, the Grenadizer, which actually goes on his left forearm, so he can activate the Grid Beam, and I don't have that, and I'm so sad. I lost it a long time ago. Sad.
I think all the accessories really work for Gridman, considering that he only has maybe 3 weapons of choice. But there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not daunted by having multiple pieces that could break at a hat's toss. I mean, yes, the posability is quite lacking in today's standards, but remember that this figure came out in 1995. It's 20 years old, but that doesn't stop me from loving this figure. I honestly think it's the heart and the love I have for this character and the show growing up. Because, I mean, in today, if I didn't have a heart connection to this figure, I probably think that this is a big, thick doo-doo. But this is the DX Gridman, so let's take a look at that. And here we have Gridman support machines. And I gotta tell you, this is the potatoes and the meat of Gridman, in my opinion. Twin Driller is a great looking drill. I mean, what did you expect? It's a twin driller, baby, out here to dig holes in some kaiju. Nothing really special. It's got a couple wheels on the bottom, kind of roll pretty well, and the drills spin. Taking a look at the longest boy, we got the God Tank. Looks pretty good, honestly. Nice looking treads. Also has wheels on the bottom, so it can roll around and skimmy dazzle everywhere. And arguably the most realistic is the Thunderjet, looking like a jet, block jet. It's honestly super green. It's not aerodynamic at all. How can this thing fly? Where's the logic? Oh yeah, you don't need logic in a tokusatsu. Obviously, these things just don't sit here as paperweights. These things combined form something great. Let's play some Baby Dan Dan. The God Xenon. Ooh, baby, this is a nice looking combination. Pretty fun transformation. I really, really love it. It's simple and effective. Everything's nice and clicky, too. Really like it. Also, it's kind of troll that the front chest sticker is still there, even after so long. I gotta say, man, I'm really, really happy with this. Oh, it looks great from all angles, man. I mean, sure. Yeah, it's got some back kibble, but I mean, hey, there ain't nothing wrong with packing some more junk in your trunk. It's alright. Bag looks pretty seamless besides, I mean, the mumbo jumbo in the back. Here is Gridman next to God Xenon. And of course, here is a can of Sprite Zero. I'm just nerding out looking at this dude. I freaking love God Xenon's design. Oh, man. He also has orange translucent plastic for the eyes. I like his head sculpt. It looks like Optimus Prime without a face mask, even though he has a face mask. And again, I did do my own painting on the support machines as well, too. You can tell, like, I have the red around the stomach, a little bit of blue here, some gold on the treads. Just show off my, 12-year-old painting. 12-year-old painting. Yeah, we'll go with that. But I am not pleased with the front of this. Like, what the hell is that? This is like some random paint. But I mean, I feel the paint really brings it out since I don't have the stickers and Repo Labels will never make one, sadly, ever. But one thing to note too, this section here likes to come apart sometimes, as well as the arms can come untabbed. Even though they click in really, really well, it isn't that solid. Same thing with the legs. The legs can kind of pop off from time to time, but
I believe that's just the age of the dude. Right. Posability. You have a head swivel, arms forwards and backwards, in and out. That's not wrist articulation. Nothing in the waist, obviously. He can kick out. He has a better spread. Oh, there it is. Alright, I managed to get the spread. There's the spread. We have a swivel at the knee, and that's all the articulation you're ever going to get out of this dude.
With Gridman next to God Xenon, these guys are two pairs in a pod. They look great standing next to each other. Their color combinations, their designs just match really well together. God Xenon can really stand out on its own just because it looks so good. It doesn't even look like it's from Gridman's show. These guys just work so well together. But what's even better is they can combine.
By the way, just a thought before we get on to the transformation between these two. It's best to dismantle this guy, so let's just do that. We want to start off the transformation with God Tank going back to tank mode. Twin Driller stays the same for now, and Thunderjet is just going to chill over there as part of God Xenon's torso.
This is where Gridman truly shines. When he combines with Twin Driller, Thunderjet, and God Tank, he forms Thunder Gridman. And let me tell you, I love this design. From the twin drill sitting on the shoulders, to the gold chest, to the orange visor. It looks all fantastic. I cannot stop geeking out whenever I look at this thing. It has a sense of presence because he's so bulky, and it's not a mech. It's a dude in armor. Also, without my 5-year-old paint job on it, it would look super plain. This thing needs some stickers, and sadly, Rebel labels will never come out with those. And here's a size comparison next to a can of Sprite Zero.
What can I say that I haven't already? The twin drills look great. The gold chrome on the chest, the horn, his head sculpt looks great. You can actually see his eyes and stuff in there too. And this backpack setup is so good. It locks up nice and tight, fold down, and it pegs straight into the back. This is so cohesive. This is how back kibble should be done. And oh man, it's just so fantastic. I love the look of Thunder Gridman. This is why I love his design. Every time I look at this, I nerd out, and I'm glad I have it. Posability. It's limited, obviously, from forwards and backwards. It has Gridman's elbows, rotations, slight hips forwards and back, a little bit of swivels, and a knee. Side skirts can move out, but I mean, that's really not that important when, you know, you could just stand there and look like a major beast.
Here we are at the season finale, and what can I say about this guy? I love him. I really do. It's everything. Everything about this guy. From the transformations to the playability. Yeah, the posability is really lacking. But you put him on a shelf, he'll stand out compared to the rest of your figures. And that's another thing. He stands out from the rest of the Tokusatsu Ultraman because of God Xenon. If you are a fan of mecha Kaiju. Ultraman, I think that this is a figure definitely for you, but I wouldn't go out and pay an arm and a leg for it. I remember getting this guy for Christmas, and it was just the best damn thing in the world. Also, there are other Gridman figures coming out in the future, so you could probably definitely snag one of those if you cannot find the DX Gridman, or the Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad version of it. And the reason why I decided to review this thing is because I just finished SSSS Gridman, Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad Gridman, by Tsuburaya and Trigger, and they did well on it. I highly recommend watching the anime, and I think every collector needs a Gridman of some kind in their collection. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.